Another year, another bad contract the Rams are trying to get out of, right? Right? Just for perspective, okay? And I have some friends inside the Rams organization, and they all say that, like, look, they're good football guys. They're good guys to work with between McVay and Snead, but they've bitten the old apple. And it's not they haven't struck out on all their big deals, right? The deal for Jalen Ramsey worked. And Ndamukong Suh, who they brought in kind of as a mercenary, like, worked. And obviously Aaron Donald, worth every penny. Matter of fact, I would say that of all the contracts in the NFL, like Aaron Donald's, which was the biggest at his position we had ever seen, worth every penny. He is that good. He is inarguably, I think, the best non-quarterback in the NFL and arguably the best football player in the National Football League. Aaron Donald is that good. But we can't talk about Aaron Donald and not say, like, hey, Todd Gurley, you gave him a contract a year before you had to. Way too long, way too much money. He had played early in his career before he truly rehabbed his knee. And not only did the knee go bad, but something didn't fit with the personality. And this time last year, before they cut him, they let it be known to plenty of people, myself included. And it was like they were calling me. Just, people are smart. They know how to filter things. Doesn't work hard, not great attitude, can't wait to get rid of him. So that's how we knew something was up. Right? That shapes your opinion of somebody. It doesn't mean you use a source or two within the Rams saying that, because, like, why would the Rams put that out there? So Jared Goff struggled at times this year. He looks flustered. Now, I've talked to NFL people like, yeah, I think he's pretty good. Does he have his limitations? Sure. This was Snead talking to reporters about Jared Goff, their starting quarterback.
What I can say is Jared Goff's a Ram in this moment. And I said it's way too early to speculate. The future, that's a beautiful mystery. Moving on from Jared Goff, the money we've invested in him, that's not easy to overcome. Anything can be done in a cap-based system.
Anything can be done cap-based system means we'll figure it out. That is the opposite of the dreaded vote of confidence. That is the vote of no confidence. He's on our team for now, but we'll see. No stone unturned. Basically, they asked Snead, are you going to marry Jared Goff? And he's like, we're together for now. Which means they're not going to be married. It's just a question of at what point do you bite the bullet and start all over, right? And this is very similar to where the Niners were last year. Remember, they went to a Super Bowl last year. They had the lead for much of the Super Bowl. And yet they talked to Tom Brady about coming over. Well, he's from Northern California, right? Like, okay. And there's literally no reason. It didn't make, honestly, I think Tom Brady would be a disaster in that system because that system takes an amount of athleticism. There's a lot of rollouts, a lot of play action, and they're not what the Buccaneers ran one running play over and over and over again. The rest was Tom Brady in the pocket doing what Tom Brady does. So and the Rams aren't alone in these feelings. Right? Like, how many teams are set at quarterback? Like, we're not even don't even call. Don't even think that I'm answering the phone when you call. Packers? Yeah, this whole Packers, like, you heard from Mark Murphy. Yeah, he's the MVP of the league. He's not going anywhere. I think, frankly, the Houston Texans are in that same boat. Like, people are going to call, but I don't think they want to, like, let's get a head coach. Let's meet. Let's figure it out. This is the guy we want. What draft picks can you give us? The ultimate goal will be to get that guy again when we already have that guy under contract for the meat of his career. I don't think obviously the Chiefs, they would never do that. Seattle's not changing. They're not moving their quarterback. And outside of that, I think you got the Chargers, probably the Bengals. Even the Dolphins. I mean, what's interesting is about, like, I've heard people still talk about the Dolphins. Like, they just hired Charlie Fry. Charlie Fry was the quarterback coach in the Elite 11 of Tua. Like, they're not changing quarterbacks. They're all in on Tua. Maybe only for one more year, but they're all in on Tua. And that's really kind of seemingly almost about it. And I think Tennessee is set with who they're set with and their style, even though they're going to have to change offensive coordinators. I don't think the Cowboys should be, but I think they're pretty set with. Dak. The Eagles are only because they're so contractually tied, and they hired a coach because Frank Reich had him playing his best football, and this is mini Frank Reich. Like, can you tell me another team is like that? Buffalo, and then Buffalo. And I think the Browns are close to that area, not because they wouldn't at least listen, but the truth is right now they have a guy who, he's Cleveland. He's not for everybody, but he's for Cleveland. But isn't it interesting that Les Snead, like, this is the second big offensive contract that they're willing to eat some portion of it and hurt their salary cap on some level because they got to get him out of the building. And maybe there's a certain intelligence to it, right? Where instead of doing what the Eagles are doing, where you're putting a guy back out there that you don't really think is that good, but contractually you got to do it. Maybe look, we know he's not the guy, and so we're ready to move on. The question would be, is there anyone who values Jared Goff enough they're willing to take on his contract, even if it's really kind of like a one-year deal? That I don't have the answer for. But I would guess it's reasonable to say, if you look at the jump he took from year 1 to year 2, from year 2 to year 3, and of course that's when the deal was done. You're sitting here going like, he should be getting better, progressively better, and he's either plateauing or maybe regressing some. And that when we have a dynamic run, we shouldn't have to have a dynamic run game for our quarterback to be reasonably good, especially at the rate in which he's being paid. The other part to this is a lot of it is just like I told you with Parade Magazine. If you're a quarterback making your rookie contract money, you can live with mistakes. If you're a quarterback making second contract money, you have to perform much more often than he's performed. And that's really that. If it wasn't for the fact that he's making, upwards of $25, $30 million, then you can live with some of it. The problem is that once you put yourself in that tax bracket, it's really, really hard for us to feel good if you have a couple of bad games, if you feel like you're not progressing. But Les Snead saying for now, Les Snead saying it's a mystery, Les Snead saying anything can be good on salary cap era is all you need to know about his status. Les Snead is the guy who you asked if he's getting married to the girlfriend of a couple years, and he's like, we're together for now. And here's the other part. What is the win in Les Snead saying it? There's no award given to Les Snead for being honest with the media if they trade Jared Goff. There's no award given. What is the point of what Les Snead is doing? I mean, it is because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Now, if Jared Goff does come back, they tried to get rid of him. They tried to find a taker. Nobody could take him. Hey, look, man, nobody wants you. When you lack confidence in your player so much so that you make it public, well, that's hard for a relationship to continue to exist. Who says that? I don't know another team in the NFL who would have a young quarterback under contract who led them to a Super Bowl who would say, like, look, Jimmy Garoppolo has been disappointed, been hurt 2 different years, and has made some disappointing plays. And even when they've had some negative comments in the post game about Garoppolo, there's never been a Jimmy Garoppolo is our quarterback for now. So yes, I question why Les Snead is doing what he's doing, even if I understand what he's doing and why he's doing what he's doing.